You did what you were told. You worked hard. You stayed late. You upgraded your skills. You chased the better offer. Your income went up. So why does your life still feel tight? Not broke, not desperate, just constrained. Like every decision still passes through a quiet filter. Can I afford this right now? Should I wait until next month? What if something unexpected happens? From the outside, you're progressing. From the inside, you're hesitating. And that tension is confusing. Because you thought earning more would feel like freedom. Instead, it feels like higher stakes. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't stay trapped because they earn too little. They stay trapped because their life expands faster than their freedom. The shift is subtle. You upgrade your space. You upgrade your habits. You upgrade your expectations. And none of it feels irresponsible. It feels adult. It feels deserved. It feels like you're finally doing life properly. But quietly, something else is happening. Your cost of living rises. Your flexibility shrinks. Your margin disappears. And the most dangerous part? It doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels normal. Income rising. Freedom standing still. If you don't see the gap now, it widens with every raise. Because this isn't about how much you make. It's about what your money quietly owns in return. And where this leads is not where you think. Idea 1. The upgrade loop that feels like progress. You get a raise. Not lottery level. Not quit your job money. Just enough to breathe. So you upgrade something. Maybe the apartment gets better light. Maybe the car feels safer, newer, more you. Maybe takeout turns into a routine instead of a treat. Maybe your grocery cart shifts from price checking to preference. Nothing extreme, just upgraded living. And honestly, you earned it. But here's the quiet shift. Your baseline rises. What used to feel optional becomes normal. What used to feel luxurious becomes expected. What used to feel like a treat becomes routine. Pause. When was the last time your lifestyle went down after your income went up? Exactly. This is lifestyle inflation's most subtle form. Permanence. You're not spending recklessly. You're locking in new obligations. Higher rent, higher insurance, higher utilities, higher baseline spending. And permanence changes everything. Because temporary spending is flexible, permanent spending is binding. Every upgrade you lock in today becomes a financial commitment your future self must maintain. That's not freedom. That's maintenance. And maintenance requires consistency, which requires stability, which quietly reduces your willingness to take risks. You stay longer in jobs you've outgrown. You delay moves you once dreamed about. You choose safe instead of aligned. Not because you lack courage, because your lifestyle became expensive to support. And the loop continues. You earn more, you upgrade, your baseline rises, your flexibility shrinks. This is how progress can feel like movement, while keeping you in the same place. But the loop tightens even more in ways most people never notice. Idea 2, the comfort trap. Nobody warned you about. Comfort is powerful. Not dramatic comfort. Not luxury resort comfort. Just frictionless living. Groceries delivered. Rides summoned. Subscriptions auto-renewed. Convenience on demand. None of it feels excessive. It feels efficient. It feels like saving time. It feels like modern life. And slowly, your tolerance for inconvenience drops. Cooking feels like effort. Waiting feels inefficient. Canceling feels like deprivation. Fixing feels worse than replacing. Comfort rewires your expectations. What once felt easy now feels inconvenient. What once felt normal now feels like a downgrade. And here's where spending shifts from choice to identity. I'm just someone who values efficiency. I work hard, so this is worth it. This saves time. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's a story we tell ourselves to protect comfort. Because friction reminds us we're not fully in control yet. Pause for a second. If your income disappeared tomorrow, how long could your current lifestyle continue? Don't answer quickly. Notice the feeling that question creates. That feeling isn't about money. It's about dependence. When your lifestyle requires uninterrupted income to survive, your time isn't fully yours. Your income owns it. And this is where high earners often feel a quiet, persistent pressure they can't explain. They're not broke, but they're not free yet. And the deeper issue isn't comfort. It's dependence disguised as convenience. But there's another layer most people never question. Idea 3, the silent trade, time for appearances. As income rises, expectations evolve. Not because someone announced new rules, because your environment changes. Better restaurants become normal. Group trips get more expensive. Gift standards rise. Celebrations scale up. No one demanded it. It just feels aligned with where you are now. Your surroundings upgrade. Your peers upgrade. Your norms upgrade. And without noticing, spending begins to protect belonging. Not extravagantly, just enough to stay aligned. But belonging has a price, often paid in time, extra hours worked, email answered during vacations, side projects taken on from pressure, not passion. Pause. If sustaining your lifestyle requires constant output, is that success? Or is that performance? Here's an uncomfortable truth. Many people earn more not to build freedom, but to sustain a version of themselves they feel obligated to maintain. And the higher the maintenance cost, the lower the flexibility. The lower the flexibility, the fewer risks you can take. The fewer risks you take, the longer you stay dependent. And suddenly, the raise that was supposed to create options quietly removed them. This is where most people get it wrong. They think freedom comes from earning more, but freedom comes from needing less. That realization can sting, because this might be about you, not your ambition, not your intelligence, not your discipline, but the invisible structure your life has slowly built around you. And if that structure keeps expanding, freedom keeps moving further away. But the biggest illusion still remains. Idea 4, the income versus net worth illusion. A higher salary feels like progress. And it is. But salary is flow. Freedom is stock. Income is what comes in. Net worth is what stays. Freedom is what compounds. The gap between these determines your options. There are people earning modest incomes with growing freedom. There are people earning 6 figures with shrinking flexibility. The difference isn't talent. It's structure. If your income rises but your fixed costs rise with it, you stay in motion without moving forward, like running on a treadmill set to impressive, busy, productive, stationary. Meanwhile, wealth builds quietly, owning assets, maintaining margin, avoiding permanent upgrades, preserving flexibility, letting time compound. This isn't flashy. It's calm, deliberate, unimpressive to outsiders. But boring compounds, and compounding creates options. Options reduce fear. Reduced fear increases control, and control is what freedom actually feels like. But to reach that point, a shift has to happen internally first. Freedom isn't a number in your bank account. It's a relationship with money, a calm one. One where your lifestyle doesn't require your full capacity to sustain it, where your expenses leave space for uncertainty, where your future isn't hostage to your next paycheck. This doesn't mean rejecting comfort. It means choosing comfort that doesn't own you, upgrading intentionally, not automatically. Preserving margin, even when you can afford not to. Avoiding permanent obligations disguised as rewards, because margin buys options. Options reduce fear. Reduced fear creates control. Control is freedom, not luxury, not status, not constant upgrades. Control, the ability to walk away, to rest without panic, to choose work instead of needing it, to take risks without risking survival. And here's the reframe. Earning more isn't the finish line. It's leverage. Leverage only works when directed. So instead of asking, how much can I afford right now? Start asking, what will this cost my future freedom? That one question changes decisions quietly. You start designing a life that grows lighter over time, instead of heavier. You begin to notice which upgrades add joy and which add obligation. You begin to protect flexibility like it's an asset, because it is. And when that shift happens, something unexpected follows. The anxiety softens. The pressure eases. Because you're no longer racing your expenses, you're widening your options. And that's when earning more finally feels like progress. Not pressure, not performance, progress. If this made you pause for a moment, that's good. Awareness is where freedom begins. But awareness alone isn't enough, because some financial decisions feel harmless today and shape your life more than any raise ever will. Tap into the next video on your screen. The financial decisions you'll regret at 35. Because the earlier you see them, the easier they are to avoid, and the easier freedom becomes.